Welcome to our 7th one-on-one session with Marek. I am Tori, the Dungeon Mom for the Campus Chronicles D&D campaign, and I am here with Boris, who plays Marek, and I'm going to have Boris go ahead and introduce himself, a little about Marek, and elaborate a bit on how does Marek feel to be included in the party, and just in general, how he's feeling with the other characters now that they've had a chance to get closer, since Riki and Isla have shared a bit about their history as well as meeting with Dr. Morpheus.
Hello, my name is Boris. I'm the voice of Marek Velair, an elven sorcerer who is specialized in telepathic abilities and some clockwork magic, and some other stuff. Although he's a newer member of the party, he's getting to know everyone better, and is undergoing his objective of infiltrating the group, via section orders, and finding out as much as he can about the Night Mother threat. Although he's currently succeeding in his mission of gaining information through the party, he's kind of gotten closer to everyone and is kind of making sure that, he's not getting anyone hurt with what he relays to his superiors.
It's a very important factor as well.
Yes.
All right. Since our last one-on-one session, Mark last met with Section on, I think Monday, the 27th, when he met with Eleanor Ashglade, a member of the Delta Domini Chi, as well as an agent in Section. Since then, Marek has been requested for a meeting with President Amadora on Wednesday, the 29th of Elent at 3:30 after his History of Scrying class. You receive the summons in an email where President Amadora is interested in speaking with transfer students.
Okay.
As you arrive to the president's office, you see a small human woman sitting behind a desk. She's a little frail. She has these spectacles that she's wearing and a large bun on top of her head. As you arrive, she peeks over her desk. Hello?
Oh, hi there.
Do you have an appointment?
Yes. President Amadora wanted to speak with me.
Name, please.
Marek Velair.
Ah, yes, right on time. Proceed down the hall. First door on the left.
A little smug that someone noted that he was punctual. He kind of gives a little smirk and nods. Thank you. And walks by.
All right. As you go down the hall, you notice that this hallway is very nicely decorated. It reminds you a bit of Dr. Morpheus's office, but it definitely has a more expensive taste. Marek, being from a noble family, is very familiar with more historic and dated furniture, of which some of it can be seen in this hallway, which continues as you approach the president's office. The door is open, and you see President Amadora, a stern face focused on some paperwork in front of her, as she's sitting behind a large, ornate wooden desk. She pauses as you hover in the hallway. Ah, yes, Mark. Please come in.
Yes. Hello, President Amadora. Marek meekly says.
I can work on this later. Go ahead, have a seat. On the couch. I'll come over. This can be
okay.
more less formal meeting. She brings along a notebook. And in her office, you see that it is quite large. There is a desk on like the far end, but there's a little sitting area. The wood color matches throughout the office, walnut. And you see that the fabric of the cushions kind of accent across her whole office, as if this place was decorated with very, very particular taste.
Wow, I like the style of this office. It reminds me of home.
I do prefer the classics. One moment, please. She goes over to the door and closes it and activates a light switch. You see the walls activate. These panels kind of slide down like metal panels, and cover the windows as well that are into her office. The ones from the view on the outside as well as the ones close to the hallway. For protection. This is a conversation for section.
Marek nods, sobering his expression.
This is our first face-to-face meeting. We have met before, but I'm interested to getting to know you as one of our UOA agents officially. I am the overseer of campus intel and operations. And due to our developments, Detective Chavaris has been stepping in more here as well. But I like to know our agents on a more personal level, since you'll be going on more missions as time progresses.
Oh, are there any in mind?
We'll get to that later.
Right.
So, Mark, how long have you been with Section exactly?
Mark kind of sits silently for a moment, thinking, and then says, I was first noticed by Section after the events that occurred on the 13th of Myrtle, 1242. It was after an incident that attracted their attention that I was recruited and trained by Section from that point onwards.
All right. And how do you like it so far?
I like serving with Section. I like being a part of something that fights to protect our realm from danger. Though, I must admit, I am conflicted with some choices that are made in the name of virtue. Like, wiping minds, abducting people. Mark kind of trails off.
Having these moments of doubt and questioning is important. It helps keep us on our moral compass. If you have specific questions and requests for information, this could be shared if you would like to know the reasonings behind things.
Well, it would make me sleep better at night.
Typically, our order section is a very secret operation that exists to protect not just Andorra, but the material plane on which many different countries, planets, cultures, beyond what we can imagine, exist. And any information about us to anyone outside of our group needs to be treated like a virus and contained, or our whole operation is at risk. some options that we have for this type of situation is memory modification, which is a very non-invasive, non-threatening, non-violent procedure which removes these memories and thoughts about section, which can protect not only the individual if they were to be going and poking around in the wrong place, but also protects the secrecy of section, so that our enemies and those that we are investigating do not uncover any information about us to use it against us. Do you understand?
Yes, President.
We do not kidnap people either. We can detain them according to government law. And in certain situations provide emergency care, of which the next relative of said person is notified as power of attorney to make decisions for them and their health. I assume you're speaking about the student, Blaze Zambini.
Yes.
His mother is a close friend of mine. She was informed of the situation almost immediately and agreed to have him be placed in cryogenesis.
Yes, I know of Rain, who is one of our comrades in section, who was romantically involved with Blaze. I could just see that she was really distraught when she heard of his disappearance.
Some of this she already knew and had to put on an act for others. As you know, our secrecy must be kept. So Rain had to pretend as if she did not know anything, for people to not become suspicious.
Right, it's part of our training.
Rain is rather good at putting on an act.
Mark nods in agreement.
Any other questions?
No. Thank you.
Now, the reason I initially wanted to bring you here is because Eleanor told me about your report, and I wanted to speak with you about it. Tell me about this group. This new group of friends you have come into contact with. I know you've been told to get close to them and find out information. So do you have any information to share?
Right, well, we refer to ourselves as the party, but, this group is made up of young adult students who, at times, are uncertain with themselves, but when they're given a clear goal and stand together, they can accomplish anything. The group, myself included, has been investigating a plethora of clues surrounding this Night Mother character and her cabal of underlings.
Speaking of Night Mother, what do you know about her?
Well, Night Mother, she was released by a magical artifact in the form of a book, caged by some tree in the material plane. She was expelled out of her prison and has been wreaking havoc since. Uh, Her power is thought to be vast, and she has great magical capabilities. She also has this Book of Life, an artifact that has deep magical connections to her. Um, she can open portals to distant lands and has been observed doing this before. In order to gain more information to curb this Night Mother menace, I took a sacred oath with the group, and they have some serious consequences if I were to mention the organization affiliated. So forgive me for not being able to tell you everything, but I
Understood.
can't. I can state from a confident source, Dr. Morpheus here, um, that Night Mother is a large threat and has an unknown number of servants at her command. She's interacted with several of these party members directly, such as Riki Ebshimmer, Isla Omari, Gale Whisperwind, and the late Elzina Native. But she was she was brought back to life recently after dying to a nightmarish creature from the Shadowfell.
Oh, the late Elzina Native. We
Well,
have records that she is alive.
the members of the party said that she perished, and through some sort of magic, perhaps with the Book of Life, she was brought back, but escorted back home by her father.
Interesting. And do you have any information about this Book of Life?
Well, I don't know too much other than it's in the possession of Night Mother and her affiliates. I don't have any ideas of how to get to it, or well, I think it's connected with the Shadowfell.
Interesting. And you mentioned Night Mother and servants. We are currently very interested in a student named Luna Williams. Do you have any information about who Luna is?
Right. Well, Luna Williams is a person of interest both to the party and section. She's directly affiliated with Night Mother and is thereby dangerous. It is known that her mind is unable to be read, at least by myself and another psychic user, Bismuth Radley. She was affiliated with the group previously, befriending them, and it seems that she has betrayed the party before I had arrived and been involved. I heard that her mother wasn't around, perhaps dead, but she's made a presence recently, according to Luna herself.
And possibly because of this Book of Life?
I can't be sure. We've been kind of scared to go around Luna because, well, we know that Night Mother has some sort of ability to protect her.
I do think you remember your last mission in the Night Forest, where we saw the 10 students lying dead with the portal.
Right.
My report
Yes.
shows that 2 figures exited the portal, one of which being Luna Williams, which we were able to identify. The other, we are assuming, is Night Mother.
Right.
My
I think so.
report says that she was carrying a book.
Well, I think that book could be the Book of Life, but she was also released from one. Yeah, I don't know. I would say it's one of the two.
Unfortunately, we do not have any records of a Night Mother in our databases. Perhaps she's going under a new name. We will try to have some information cross-referenced for a supposed book that she was trapped into. Perhaps we can find a previous dangerous individual who was imprisoned in one. It's not something that is common. Something like this probably happened many, many years ago. Thousands, possibly.
Right. Well, if I ever hear of any other possible aliases, I'll keep my ears open and report back.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
we need more information about Night Mother. This is your new directive. The group knows something. Could be more that they're letting on. Could be information they may not even know that they need to share. I need you to work with them to uncover this information. We need a weekly report to be submitted. Please write in Runic. Place it in your air vent in your dorm every Sunday at noon, and it will be retrieved.
Understood. I can do that.
You mentioned that the group is determined when given a task. Do you believe they are capable?
Well, there's recently been some conflict within its members, like Gale and Riki. But if someone guides them, then I really do believe that they can accomplish anything.
Due to the increased activity of the Shadowfell involvement and potential Night Mother risks, we are holding additional recruiting efforts and wondering if this party, so you say, would have the skill set for something like this to be a part of Section. Unfortunately, they already know too much information, and the memory modification was not working, so we would like to try an additional approach to contain the information about Section and the Shadowfell.
Right. They did mention that Bismuth's memory block was removed. They still have the ring that was involved in the situation. And they do seem to be on edge and harbor suspicion towards Derek Chavaris, a Mr. Yamoto, those affiliated with the FBI or EPA, and I've heard them make comments about you, President Amadora.
Which is why we would rather correct their mindset. We have noticed that thanks to Thomas's ability to track their search histories, that their current ideas of the world are not how they think it is. As you know, we are working to contain and protect the material plane, and they could possibly be thinking of a different scenario, which is not true. So it is important that we not only contain the information and secrecy of Section and our work, as well as prevent any false truths being spread throughout the dark web or so-called Reddit.
Right. I've heard of this Reddit.
We have a recruiting effort coming up in a couple weeks. Plans are being set. There will be a time, typically, where our agents will reach out for a test. It will be unassuming. And the group will not know that they are being tested. If you are with them, I would ask you to let them lead the way, as this is their test, and only assist if needed, as this is a group effort. Typically, we do our testing individually, but this is a very unique case.
Right, okay. I can do that, but what if one of them doesn't pass? I mean, where would the party's loyalties lie?
As I said, it would be group effort, so they either all pass or no one does. If that is the case, we will proceed as normal and have you continue to work and investigate and share whatever information you can.
Okay.
Sometimes fate guides certain people in certain directions. It seems that this is not one that we can cancel. But if they are proven to be capable and trustworthy, we would like to have them as a part of section.
Well, I must say, President, I was not expecting this.
I was not either. It was not my request.
May I know whose?
Detective Shavar sees something in the group. Perseverance. Which is a notable skill to have. Sense of character.
Well, if there's one thing they have, it's perseverance.
Perhaps with guidance, they will be on a better foot.
With section resources, we might be able to figure out much more about Night Mother, more than we could have before.
And if all goes well, and this secret thing you are not allowed to speak about, perhaps if you connect us with the right people, we can share resources with each other.
I'll see what I can do.
But we would like to do this test first.
When is the test going to take place?
Currently, it is unknown. The facilities need to be set up. As you know, our section tests are quite in-depth.
Right. Mark thinks back to his time in the elevator during the Shadowfell test.
Now, I have a mission for you. Have you heard of the Children of the Covenant religion?
No, I can't say I have.
It is a fast-growing religion, especially among the younger generation, converting people from other religions to their own. They claim to have a deity of healing that performs miracles. Our intel shows that this is true, perhaps the Book of Life that you mentioned. But many members of this religion are known to be in the Nightshade Covenant cult, long suspected of being involved with Shadowfell portals. Some of the priests in their religion have had readings of shadow energy as well. There will be a gathering of some members with the priestess in a warehouse in the Gaming District on Friday. You'll receive a note to be excused from classes for this mission. If you have any appointments or plans, please make an excuse to cancel them.
Okay, I'll come up with something.
For the mission, we will have agents stand by but need some undercover agents on the streets for lookouts. You have been chosen, along with Agent Ian Thomas. We need you to wear your protective gear under your clothes, which are provided in this bag. All other information is contained within. She reaches next to her, and there is a very unassuming backpack, school backpack, that she hands over to you.
Mark grabs it.
There's a note inside with the address and time, as well as a character that you must take on for this mission. Follow all of the instructions and arrive on time. There is also a list of coded responses for this mission, should you need them.
Okay, I'll make sure to get prepared as much as I can.
That's all that I have for today, unless you have any other questions.
Well, none come to mind, President.
All right. Well, thank you for meeting with me. If you have any other questions, you may reach out to my president email to set up an appointment.
Okay. Well, you have a wonderful day, President Amadora.
And to you as well. And she stands up and hits the switch on the door. And she opens the door and motions for you to leave.
Mark nods as he passes by the president. Do you want me to leave it open, or...?
Yes, open's fine.
Okay. Mark strides down the hall.
And if you do see more about the graffiti artist, please let me know, she says rather loudly down the hall.
Will do, President. Thank you.
After going back to your dorm, you investigate the contents in the backpack that you were given. Inside, there is a note with several pieces of information that are very important. The first, the address, the location that you need to arrive at on Friday, which is Alchemy Coffee Company in the Gaming District of Evermore. The time to arrive is 10:47 a.m. The character you are to put on is of Joseph Cartwright, a retired 120-year-old elven professor who left Astria College several years ago. He lives in the Runic Estates and likes to go to this coffee shop to enjoy some coffee in the morning while reading a book. Your persona to adopt is to be very cryptic when speaking with people, very short. And the information for Marek is to sit at the third table to the right of the door outside, where there is an angle of an alley across the street, where you can see a garage door. This spot is very important. It's called the East Entrance. And the north side of the warehouse, which is the point of interest for this mission, to keep an eye of the street view, which is the street, the same street of the coffee company, the Alchemy Coffee Company shop. Included in the bag is a makeup kit to add wrinkles, since Marek is not 120 years old, as well as clothes to wear: white button-up shirt, beige sweater, black pants, dark blue trench coat, and a gray beanie. You also have glasses. When you put them on, have 10x zoom, as well as the ability to record visuals. An earpiece, set to channel 6, a book of elemental creatures, and a list of coded responses to use if you are unable to speak freely due to people being around you when asked a question on the earpiece. It is now Friday, the 1st of Marpanoth, the day of the mission. You take the bus to the Gaming District and arrive at 10:47 a.m. Please give me a perception check.
A 6.
A 6! No!
No.
With a 6, you don't see a whole lot worth mentioning. As you arrive to the coffee shop, it is a quaint little shop. As you go in, there are elements of alchemy, spells, and potions listed on the walls as decorations. But the menu is rather simple. There are several selections for different coffee roasts and a selection of espresso drinks that you can order, the standard that you'd find at any coffee shop, as well as a variety of pastries. You see outside, sitting at one of the tables, a young human girl wearing very modern clothing, scrolling through her phone. She has ginger hair, pigtails pulled into like 2 braids. And inside, as you walk in, a few people at the back table. There's one person at the counter, very like hipster kind of clothing, beanie that is covering most of their hair. But they have a very pleasant smile on and kind of acknowledge you as you walk in.
Mark, with an expressionless look, says, 1 coffee, black.
Can do. Just give me a few seconds to whip that up for you. They turn around and pour a cup into a like to-go container and bring it up to you. That'll be 2 gold. Card or cash?
Mark reaches for his wallet and takes out 2 gold. And puts it on the counter.
All right, and here you go. Would you like a receipt?
Marek mumbles and walks away.
The guy kind of just takes the gold and puts it in the cash register. How would you like to proceed?
So, I will step outside of the entrance to the coffee place and look to my left, which would technically, if I were looking at the coffee place, it would be the right.
Correct.
Which is where I would need to. Okay. So
there are 4 tables. The young girl is sitting at the very first table.
Okay. Are there any other people at the tables?
Nope. Completely empty.
As Mark passes by the young girl going over to the table at the end, he would kind of he would like to see what the young girl's doing at the table.
The only thing that you can see, especially with a 6, is that she is on some sort of social media, perhaps spell talk.
Mark dismisses the thought and goes over and before sitting down, kind of looks around, trying to admire the views before picking his seat with a good angle.
All right. Everything is quite calm. You hear the earpiece activate with a slight hum. And on the other end, you hear a very familiar voice of Detective Chavaris.
Everyone in position. We will do a roll call. Follow the coded messages if you cannot speak without raising suspicion. Squad A.
Squad A is in position.
Squad B.
Squad B is in position.
Agent Humble.
You hear a cough on the other end of the earpiece.
Agent Carthrates.
Carthrate coughs an old man cough.
I will be doing callouts. If you see anything of importance and are in a position to speak, say it.
Time passes. As 11 a.m. approaches, everything is quite calm. The coffee shop as well is not very busy. The person who was sitting at the table is still there, finishing up their croissant. But the three people that were inside at the back tables are now leaving the coffee shop and walk across the street to the warehouse. Looking through your glasses and zooming in, you see that they knock on the door next to the garage door, and it opens. They walk inside.
Suspects have entered the warehouse on the east side. No one has been seen in or out since midnight. South side,
Clear.
west side,
It is a bit warm today. 2 times more than yesterday.
2 suspects,
Another cough.
north side, Agent Carthrate.
Well, it's not the heat, but the humidity that gets to you. That's 3 for the price of 1. Oh.
Understood.
This is Squad A leader reporting. It is quiet inside. We are picking up small vibrations, most likely from speaking.
A few minutes pass. You wait and you don't really see anything of importance. You see the girl sitting at the table get up and walk down the street towards the bus stop.
Squad A reporting. There is a sound of a motor from within.
Hold until we get a visual. Can you see anyone inside or outside?
A leader reporting. Negative.
5 minutes passed.
A leader. I see smoke.
Move in, move in.
You see a service truck down the road on the same street as like the garage door. 5 people in SWAT gear pile out and hold a tight formation. Some holding heavy artillery, while others have wands raised. They approach the door and break it open, one holding position outside.
Activate gas masks. No sign of the priestess.
Squad B, engage. Secure the perimeter.
Squad B entering the warehouse. Activating gas mask.
This is A leader. There are 5 civilians unconscious. Call an ambulance.
Humble. Hearthrate. Leave your position and search the east and west blocks for anything suspicious.
Carthright peers down the alleyway to the east.
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Please, 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 please. 13?
13. All right. He said to leave your position. Which way would you like to go?
Carthright's gonna stand up, close his book, and put a little corner, bend the corner in the book, and after clearing his throat one more time, turns and follows the direction that the girl went towards the bus stop.
All right. With a 13, you're peering down different side streets and alleyways. You hear something. A woman's laugh. To your left as you're walking down the street. For reference, the young girl walked to the left of as she left the coffee shop. So if you're facing the coffee shop, she went to the right. As you head in that direction, the voice of the woman's laugh, it's like a interesting giggle. Off in one of the alleyways. And you see some sort of dark clothing disappear around a corner.
Joseph, his eyebrow raised, kind of glances in that direction and sees that. Thinking about what direction that disappearing laugh is going, Joseph would like to continue down the block and hopefully try to get another sight. Perhaps
Towards
around
the
corner.
direction of the laugh or the girl at the bus stop?
So he would like to kind of follow up on the laugh,
Okay.
but just by going down the street and around the block.
Okay. You continue down, or is this like a hastened pace or a normal walking pace?
Kind of like maybe a little bit of a power walk.
Okay. As you continue and peer down the corner, you lose track. You see another kind of alleyway over on the side, ahead and to the right.
Mark's kind of torn. Joseph is kind of torn. Whether or not it should signal suspicion or not. And then he decides, it's a bit warm today. He says over comms.
You hear back.
Proceed at full strength.
Mark continues to the alleyway that he's kind of got his eyes on. Joseph.
All right. As you near the closest alleyway, you see the black clothing once more, accompanied with white, fluffy cloud-like hair and a blue hand. As you continue on and turn that corner, you reach a dead end. No person in sight.
I'm kind of curious. I want to cast Detect Thoughts, but I don't know if I need to target the creature directly.
You have to see the creature.
Oh. Joseph says a little louder now that there's no one around. Hello?
Yes, Carthrate.
I thought I heard laughter.
Oh, sorry. Was this to the earpiece or just out loud?
Both.
Okay.
But I guess there's no one here. Better
West side
turn
is
around.
clear.
Joseph turns around and trying to keep his ears open for any perhaps some sort of dark corner he missed. Perhaps that's where they were hiding. But just keeping alert, turns around and heads back to the street.
If you wanted to, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Ooh. No! It was so
A
close.
3. Yeah, you're not having any luck today. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it was right there. The 20 was
So
right
sorry.
there.
All right. From the earpiece, you hear.
This is a leader. Civilians are stable. They are thanking Mother Serona for being alive, for restoring their new life.
Bring them in for questioning. I want to know what they saw. Temple. Carthrate. Any update? Return to the scene. I want you to investigate the warehouse.
This is Hempel. On my way.
Carthrite coughs and makes his way back into that direction.
All right. As you make it back to the coffee shop, it is now empty. The girl who was at the bus stop is now gone. You would like to cross the street to the warehouse?
Yes. Carthrite would also like to find look for the closest receptacle to throw their to-go coffee away.
Okay. There is one outside of the coffee shop. So you managed to do so before crossing the street. As you approach the warehouse, you hear a lot of noises inside. Orders being shouted There is a haze. As you approach, someone hands you a gas mask for you to put on. New area, so new perception check.
Say less.
Okay, 15. As you get closer, you see the warehouse. There's the entry from where you came through and an entrance on the other side, presumably the west side entrance. I'm putting an image of this into your channel.
All right.
You see a small room over in the corner. There is a large tube connected to the side of it, which is connected to the engine. As you approach, you smell motor oil and hot rubber, presumably from this engine that has been running. The smoke seems to be starting from inside the room and around the engine, has now since mostly dissipated, but still lingers. With a 15, you find some black residue over along one of the columns supporting the building in the middle of the room. As you are kind of looking around, I'm going to need you to make an additional Arcana check.
Unnatural 21.
21. All right. With the 21, you see that this is black residue, but it's magical residue. Since being able to recently travel through... Wait, has Mark... yes, traveling through portals. So you've traveled to the Shadowfell and I think something else. But you recognize that this is residue similarly found at the last Shadowfell portal that you were at. But there is no sense of a portal that is active in this area.
Marek motions to whoever is nearby. I see something.
One of the agents in like the SWAT gear approaches. They kind of look around.
Which one?
This one. Mark points towards that spot of residue. Careful, it's magic now.
I'll collect the sample.
And they pull out a small vial and scoop up some residue into and collect it.
So there was a portal here.
Appears so. This is not my area of expertise. Detective Chavaris will want to investigate this area, though.
Still in character, Cartwright just kind of dismisses the SWAT agent and continues looking around.
You see Detective Chavaris approach from your side.
I see you already found something of importance. Good work. You check birthright.
Thank you, Detective. A portal was here.
It seems so. Although we are not sure when this could have been activated or how, that still remains a mystery.
Indeed. Curious to see how it all connects.
We have a working theory that this could potentially be an update at a later time. Continue searching around the area for the next 10 minutes, and then leave through the side door.
Cartwright nods.
There is an arcade nearby, the XP arcade. If you go in, the back door will be unlocked. There is a room, a bathroom, where you can change out of your disguise and head back to campus. We want to make sure that no one sees you in this area or with that disguise close to campus as well.
What do I do with the disguise?
The trash can.
Understood.
You can toss the sweater and the coat. The rest should be somewhat matching your normal attire.
Well, yeah. Seems like you have a keen eye.
I will be requesting a report, which you can fill out in the Delta Dominici headquarters. Good work today.
Thank you.
And that
Mark,
is where we're going to end our one-on-one session, unless you want to say something beforehand.
Nope, I'm all good.
So yeah, you saw 3. Ian said 2. So that was the 5 total.
The laughter. the
Oh
blue
wait, before
hand.
we end, I would like for you to give me a straight intelligence check.
Well, that's not even gonna be a challenge. The true challenge is finding where it is. There it is. Oh. 18.
Okay. With an 18, investigating around the area, you see that the engine was the motor that was presumably being started before, connected to the room where the people were found unconscious. You saw as you arrived people being carried out of the room. Some slightly dazed, some of them conscious, some still unconscious, and some of them were murmuring about being blessed by Mother Serona. Putting some things together, you know that an engine can have exhaust, which could potentially be harmful if inhaled and not having proper air. Very similar to when some people, I guess, if commit suicide in a car in a closed garage. Presumably this is what happened in the room, but a contraption that was created for its purpose. But
Seems like
yes, the people are alive.
most peculiar.
So-
Everything was purposefully set into place. The engine, the tube, the small room. Yet there is a portal, and these individuals are alive, thanking Mother Serona. Oh. I wonder why these people decided to gather here. What drove them to do it? They must have been aware about Mother Serona and the Covenant before doing this, right? Unless someone knew that these people would gather around to do some sort of, let's just say, heinous activity.
Perhaps if Marek had a better perception check
Oh!
in the beginning.
Oh, okay, listen here.
It was the
Two
6.
Oh, right. That's not even the one I'm heartbroken over. It's the 2 that I got. It's like, it was right about to land on the 20. I was so excited. I yelped. Oh. Oh, man. I didn't start off strong, though.
I know. I'm so sorry. Any final remarks before we end the one-on-one session?
Oh, what a doozy. I love all the little missions.
All right. And we will continue this at some point in the future. So until next time.
Until next time.